Hello again, everybody. This is Dan Clouser, and welcome back to the Journey of My Mother's Son podcast. In this episode, I want to talk a little bit about our soul families. A few years ago, I wrote a blog. It's also a chapter in my book, The Journey of My Mother's Son, called Connection. And it really talked about how blessed Sandy and I were to be able to have connected with so many amazing people on this journey. I talked about in that chapter about how, one of the things that gave me great pride after my mother passed away was reading her journals and reading about the people that she connected with on her journey and what just a small interaction meant to her and what it meant to them. And I found out what it meant to them after she passed from the outpouring of letters that we received of people that couldn't make it to her memorial service, of the number of people that I had never personally met that came up to me or my brother after her memorial service and told us how, she had saved their life, or, she was a godsend to them, or, she really helped get them on the right track and stuff like that. And that was one of the things that, when Sandy and I embarked on this journey and sold all of our stuff, I was looking forward to being able to connect with people the way my mom connected with people. And initially, that was tough to do because when we started this journey, it was August of 2020, and we were still in kind of full COVID mode. So it was a little tough to find that connection, but we certainly did, over the years and the months. And, it's incredible to me how, people who are strangers can turn into such good friends and, really turn into family. And it's happened so often. We just left friends of ours in Illinois, Jason and Sarah Brailsford. Spent a couple days with them. We just met them this past February in Galveston and immediately clicked with them. And they pretty much became part of our soul family. When this podcast is released, we'll be on our way to some other friends that we met in Galveston last February. Jeff and Jackie Powell, who again, immediately we connected with them. And now we're going to be spending a couple days in their driveway just hanging out because they've become part of our soul family. Just so many other people that we've connected with along the way. I can't even begin to mention all of their names. But, if they're listening, they know who they are because they know that they're part of our tribe. Sandy and I are also very blessed to have a very good blood family. We've been able to visit family all over the country. My cousins who I still have great relationships with, and aunts and uncles that are still around. Got an aunt in Florida that basically is our Florida residents. My aunt and uncle, Sally and Randy King, they have full hookups for us. When we get to Florida, we use their address. So we're extremely blessed to have an incredible blood family. But we're even more blessed to have this incredible soul family, who are friends who become family. And I wanted to talk about this because, one of my soul family members, Eliza Hava, if you've been, if you're part of my email list or follow me on social media, that I'm an associate producer on her upcoming album, Into the Light. And one of the songs on that album is called Soul Family. And when I first heard it, it just absolutely resonated with me right out of the gate. We were, it was played at the end of an interview that she did on KZUM out of Lincoln, Nebraska. And ironically, as Sandy and I were listening to this interview, we were just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska. And then when this song came on, and as Eliza described the song and the meaning of it, the hair on my arms was standing up, and honestly, I was holding back tears because it was very, very emotional for me, because it really, the words in the song are really things that I think all the time, and I'm so grateful for the the friends that have become family, and Eliza is definitely one of them. We did a book signing in Brookings, Oregon back in the beginning of May before we left for Alaska, and Eliza and her husband Avi drove 2.5 hours from the middle of Oregon over to the coast just to have dinner with us and hang out with us for a little bit, and that meant so much to us. I've done 2 podcasts with Eliza within the past year, and again, she's just one of those people that we immediately connected. And when we met Avi, again, we just immediately connected. And I don't even remember how long we sat there and ate and talked and chatted, and they came back into the RV and just hung out, and we showed them the RV, and we were kind of pressed for time to get up the coast because we were headed to Long Beach, Washington, and they were kind of coupling it with an anniversary weekend, but we could have spent hours and hours longer together if we both weren't on a little bit of a schedule. And it was really probably more our schedule than theirs. I mean, they were just happy to hang out with us, and it meant so much to Sandy and I. So we've really become close, and when the opportunity came up to be an associate producer on this album and help with the crowdfunding campaign that she has going, I immediately jumped at the opportunity. Again, anyone who's read my books, knows my story, knows that I actually went to recording school in Chillicothe, Ohio, right after high school, and my dream at that time was to become a big time record producer, and that, well, it didn't quite pan out, but I am using some of those skills today as I edit podcasts and do that sort of stuff. Obviously, a lot of the technology has changed over the past 30 years, more than 30 years, but it's funny that I am actually using a lot of those skills when I'm editing and mixing and doing stuff like that. So this is kind of a full circle moment to be able to help Eliza on this project. And I don't want this podcast to turn into like a sales pitch or anything, but I just want my listeners to know how this song Soul Family just resonated with me, and is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this monologue, to share the story behind that song, share the song. Elisa's given me permission to play the song at the end of the show here, so stick around, because you're gonna be blessed with an amazing song here at the end of the show. And I think all of us have our issues from time to time with our own families, with our blood families, and I think that's why our soul families are so important to us and help us get through those difficult times. We've got another dear friend of mine, Michelle Deloso, who we just connected again. She was on our podcast. I'd coached against her 30 years ago when she played for the Colorado Silver Bullets, so I knew of her before I actually met her. And when we met, it was just a huge connection, and we were able to have a chat. Just the other day, we hadn't talked in a while, and I was helping her through some stuff that she's working on professionally, and again, when we were done, she just shot me a text and just thanked me so much, saying, hey, my soul brother, you were there for me when I needed you. And, she's been there for me when I've needed her at times. When we lost Uke, she was one of the first ones to reach out and actually, call us and see how we were doing and tell us the impact that Uke had on her life in just the short time that she was able to hike with him and hang out with him and that sort of stuff. So, when those people come into your life, you want to hold on to them. And you want to hold on to them tightly because it's special to have that extended family, that soul family, to get us all through this crazy thing that we call life. So I wasn't planning on doing this podcast, but when I first heard this song and got to really hear Elise's description of it and story behind it, which I'm going to share with you at the end of the podcast here as well, from that clip from that KZUM interview that she just did. I think it's powerful. It's a powerful message, and it's a powerful song. And her entire album coming up is filled with songs like that, filled with songs that somebody's going to listen to and be brought to tears, or the hair is going to stand up on their arms or their neck, because they're going to think that the song was written for them. So I said it's powerful. It's powerful to have those people in your life that just show up for you when you need them to. Like I said, Sandy and I are so blessed to be able to have met so many people since we've been traveling. We were both very involved in our community back in Pennsylvania, but the community that we've built since we've been traveling is indescribable. The people are just so amazing, and again, people that we may go a month or two without talking to, or sending a text, and all of a sudden we find out that we're in the same neighborhood, so to speak, and we get together and we connect and sit down and have dinner, or get together at a campground or whatever the case is, and it's like we never missed a beat. That's one of the things that on this crazy journey of my mother's son, I've been able to understand now even more so what those connections meant to my mother when she was doing this. And like I said, I thought I knew what to expect by just, again, reading her journals and getting a little background info from her. When she'd tell me she was going to Nova Scotia to spend time with friends that she volunteered at Ground Zero with, back then it was just like, okay, I kind of get it, I don't get it, I'm not sure, and now I get it. I 1000% get it. Why, she would take those trips just to hang out with people that she did volunteer work with, in some of her efforts with the Salvation Army. So, I hope and pray that everybody out there listening, has the benefit of having a soul family to surround them. And again, I think this song, and when you hear Lisa's, story behind the song is pretty powerful. So just wanted to share it with everybody because it's meant a lot to me, and being part of her project has meant a lot to me. So if you're interested in learning more about this album, I'll put a link in the description here. you can get involved in the crowdfunding campaign. It's intothelightmusic.com. Several different levels that you can offer support at there. But it's an incredible project, and I'm incredibly proud to be part of it. And, I hope by sharing this song, people understand why, there have been 100 gazillion Facebook posts from me over the past almost 2 weeks, and emails and text messages and all that sort of stuff, because I think when you hear the song and you hear the story behind the song, it'll give you just a little bit of taste as to why this project is such an incredible project, and a project that can help people heal, from whatever they're going through, because music most definitely has that healing power to it. So I'm going to stop rambling here, and said this next bit here is courtesy of KZUM 89.3 out of Lincoln, Nebraska. It was the end of an interview that Eliza did on the women's show, and then at the end, Soul Family will play, and I hope the song gives you chills the way it gave me chills. And for everybody out there listening, be sure to check out my other podcasts and blogs at journeymymotherson.com, but also check out Into the Light at intothelightmusic.com, and enjoy.
Soul Family came out of this experience for me of feeling like, I don't really have connection to my immediate family. Actually, in order to really start my healing process, I had to cut myself off from everyone in my family. My sisters, my brother, my parents. My father passed away in 2020, but that was kind of the breaking point for me, because the toxicity is just so painful, and the lack of boundaries and healthy communication. It cannot help you if you're trying to heal. You have to get away from people who are constantly just keeping you in this negative space. So I've learned that, like, my true family are really my chosen family, right? And that there are people in the world that when you meet them for the first time, sometimes you just click, you connect. There's like something that feels like, wow, I feel like I've known you for years, but I just met you, right?
Yes.
And so there are some people in this world that I feel like they're soul family, like there's a connection on a deeper level, that we're meant to meet for a reason. And then sometimes those people just become, really true family to you. And so that song is, it's meant to really recognize that, like you said, we're not alone. And sometimes, again, when you go through extreme trauma and especially abuse in your family, it can be very isolating, because people around you who don't go through those things, they don't understand. They can't really fathom, like, what it does to a person who grew up in that kind of environment, and how their lenses and their filters affect the way that they relate to other people. Unless you have like very good social skills, it can be very isolating. And you can feel like you're all alone and nobody understands you, and you're just kind of finding your way, right? And that isolation can be very difficult, because human beings need each other. We need connection. We need family. We need support. It's just the nature of how we are made. And if you're super isolated, they could lead to all kinds of different things. So this song is really about realizing there are people out there. If you can stay open, and if you can just believe that there are people in the world who can relate and connect and see you, to forge these kinds of bonds and relationships can be very healing, and sometimes, can save a life.
Have you ever felt all alone, wandering this crazy world, trying to feel at home? Have you ever been misunderstood? No matter how hard you try, they tell you you're no good. This one's for the outcasts, for the free and wild, the ones who carve their own path. Ooh, the rebel child, born into this crazy world for reasons unknown. Take it from one who knows you're not alone. May you find soul. Love that's steady, friends true and kind, a place where you can rest your head and find peace of mind. Wherever you may find yourself, over land and sea, if you keep your heart open, you'll find what you need. This one's for the outcast, for the free and wild, the ones who carve their own path. Ooh, the rebel child, walking through this crazy world, always on your own. Take it from one who knows who you're not alone. May you find soul. Love and to receive is the greatest blessing that can be. I wish this for you and for me. Every time I'm on my knees, oh, if I could just believe someone will be there for me in my time of need.
So that was Soul Family by Eliza Hava off of her upcoming Into the Light album. Be sure to check that out. Check out the crowdfunding campaign at intothelightmusic.com. And as always, be sure to check out my other blogs and podcasts at journeybymothersson.com.